Hello everyone, I'm very glad to introduce our case study about Chiquita company. My name is Yuqi Liu and my partner is QIang Jia. Our presentation will be divided into several parts. First is introduction, then SWOT analysis. After these two parts, we will give you answers about case study questions. Now please welcome my partner. He will introduce some background information about Chiquita, and then he will do a brief SWOT analysis.
So for this part, I will introduce the Chiquita Bananas Company. The Chiquita Bananas Company founded in 1870, which is leading the international producer, the distributor of bananas, also some tropical food, salad, and healthy food. The Chiquita has operations in more than 70 countries, and the employees more than 20,000 people until now. The company has an annual turnover of the $1 billion, and the 40% of the market share in the United States. And Chiquita always effort to become a socially responsible company, setting apart from the peer industry. Also, the Chiquita is committed to doing the business ethically, and not only accordance with the letter and the spirit of the law, but also as an industry leader, doing the right things in the global market. And the time just turned to the 1992. In this year, the Chiquita company just decided to become the first one who agreed to work with Rainforest Alliance, which means the Chiquita company will cooperate with environmental group to protecting the rainforest around the world. And the time just going to the 2000 years, the Chiquita company just adopted a new code of conduct, including the SA 8000 labor standard for the CRIs, which means Corporation Social Responsibility. The SA 8000 law prohibits the use of child labor and forced labor. Also, the monitor health and the safety measures, and there have the 100% of the Chiquita owned farmer in American certificate to SA 8000 labor standards in 2004. And in the other hand, the Chiquita company, they always refuse to purchase the environmental unfriendly fuel from the Canada, and it makes Chiquita company losing a lot of money of these things. Also, they lost a cooperation with the big retailers and the smaller plantations, which are not worker friendly or environmental friendly. They also have other things to making the Chiquita company perfect going down. Primarily that surrounded is the plantations. They also have other things to make Chiquita companies perfect going down, which is they just suffered a series of the American and the Colombia lawsuit because of the Chiquita company they admitting to payment to the Colombia military to protect their plantations.
Thank you for QIang Jia. So here, the purpose of our presentation is to make a brief SWOT analysis about Chiquita. After that, we will give you short answers for case study questions. Finally, we will do some analysis about the reason how the Chiquita failed to change their norms, and discuss how to be socially responsible without rules.
And for this part, I will use the SWT tool analyze the Chiquita Bananas company. So let's talk about the strengths first. And firstly, the Chiquita company, they have the many years experience on the producing and the planting the fruits. And secondly, the Chiquita company's banana, they sales account for a large proportion of the global market. And the third one is that they got multiple sales channels in the international market across over 70 countries, which means they have a lot of the customer around the world. Also, the Chiquita's fruit, they have a very good reputation among the consumers and the retailers. And the weakness of the company, I think the first one is the labor cost increased because of the strict compliance with labor laws. Also, they got very heavy economic burden as a result of the responding to CRIs. And because of the very strict to follow the labor law and many lawsuits to make the company, they have the poor cash flow, which means the company do not have enough cash to support the company's operations. And for the opportunities part, I think the Chiquita company, they need to fit to the Asian market, because the Chiquita company, they always do the business with Europe and the American market. But in the Asian market, there have a large number of the potential consumer and the food retailers, I think. Also, the Chiquita need to improve the internal management policies to maximize company's value. Also, the Chiquita need to extend their business market. Don't just focus on the fruit market. May try to work with the fast food restaurant to launch the new product. And in the threats part, I think the first threat is the competitors. As we know, the Delmont and the Dow companies, they have grabbed the most resources in the fruit market recently, because the Chiquita company's production cost is higher than the others. So the customers want to do the business with other two companies. And because of the growth of the international trade market, the Chiquita Bananas company, they have already lost their unique technology, which is frozen storage and wagging packing. Because in the 10 years ago, the Chiquita companies is the first one who used this technology to shipping their fruit to other countries. But faced to the recently, this is not a unique technology anymore. Every fruit company uses this technology to shipping their product.
Thank you very much, Chang. It's very impressive presentation. And now I will give you some short answers for our case study questions. For the first question, why has Chiquita chosen to be proactive along a number of CSR dimensions? Above all information in the case study, Chiquita has promoted a healthy food style and meeting work-friendly and environmental-friendly standards. This means Chiquita is really committed to doing this business and keeping in mind the human and environmental welfare. The concept of human welfare is deep-rooted in the organizational culture, and every activity of Chiquita indicates this. Then let's move to the question 4. As Doors and Delsmon's CEO, what are you going to do in response to Chiquita's move? For my personal answers, the first one is benefit the big retailers as well as their clients. For the second one, adopt such practice which give them stability and help them to achieve sustainable development. The third, follow certain rules, so like Chiquita adopt SA rules and such standards for their staff and employees. The fourth, adopt new technologies available in order to remain their profitability and their own power. Now, let's talk about the most important things among our case study. Why has Chiquita not been successful in changing industry norms? This question mentioned about for a company, it's more important to make profit or more important to be responsible to society. Lost cooperation with big retailers and the smaller plantations, which are not work-friendly to environmental-friendly. This is the one result for Chiquita changing their norms, and another result is suffered a series of American and Colombian lawsuits because of admitting the payments to Colombia paramilitary that surrounded its plantations. So, based on this information, we can talk about the reason why Chiquita failed. So the first one, result of changing norms. I want to conclude as the idealizations. Chiquita is an example of ideal form which has solely committed to human welfare in every possible organizational decisions, which means Chiquita's new standards have made it an ideal company that anyone could dream of. But for reality, I mean the practice, the sole objective of doing business for any firms is profit maximization, which overall cost minimization. People often feel reluctant to inherit such values of responsibility of environment, dignity of labor, and respect. So above all information I mentioned, we should talk about contradiction. The objective of profit maximization and wealth maximization would be of utmost importance to them. Even after inheriting such great values, Chiquita has ended up paying for lawsuits filed against it. Now let's move to the last question. How to improve performance of Chiquita? Actually, this is the solution for our whole case study. As Chiquita CEO, what are you recommend to the board? Basically, we need to push our ideal company image to the whole society. So, my personal idea is to make the issue public by arranging a press meet. The person would clearly state how Chiquita all through the years have valued human and environmental welfare as its core values of doing business with appropriate and relevant statistics. And also, this person have to publish our core value and information to any other advertisement like TV shows, radio, and other channels. As a conclusion, Chiquita was committed to CSR dimension during the last 20 years. It absolutely achieved a great performance on responding social responsibilities and sustainable development. However, the payoff from society to Chiquita is not enough to support development of organizations. The series of environmental friendly moves result in Chiquita losing its pensionability and profitability in the international market, which means the competitiveness of Chiquita has been decreased. and Chiquita is unable to establish a successful image of ideal company in the market. So it's really hard and important to control the balance between responsibility and profitability for a company if it wants to be a really perfect and ideal company in the international market. This is a really big problem, and this problem should be solved. Should be pushed into every company's mind, not just for one company or one organization. Here is our reference list. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, everyone.